intro. I
have an intro. Oh.
I have an. Well, here's the thing. I have an intro. I also believe in a lot of things, but at the end of the day, you can say our names and we shall appear because we believe in Joe Hendry. But we also believe in what's becoming TNA as we hit the final stop of Impact Wrestling. Welcome, everybody, to Final Resolution. Simply predicting when you watch live or on demand. And as far as she goes, say her name and she appears. I believe in Dattila. There you go. I know I'm going to try and bring her in from the Morphing Grid as well. She's a Power Ranger fan. But hello, everybody, and welcome once again to City Predicting Impact Wrestling Final Resolution. You know what this is, for I am the crazy person with no sleep. I am the simple man of the simple brand and the voice of the JMF Forever Grateful for professional wrestling. Damn it. But I digress. And my name is Noel Foster. And with me tonight on this little fun, out of nowhere, impromptu session of City Predicting, because I chose to do it because this weekend is heavily booked. My color analyst and all things Impact Wrestling, taking care of some stuff right now in the background, Dattila. And as we wait for her, I just want to say before we get into it, thank everybody for participating in this year's Impact Wrestling League. It will officially become TNA come next year. And again, this is Impact Wrestling Final Resolution, which you will find Saturday, December 9th. And you can watch it begin on Impact Plus as an ultimate side on Impact Wrestling's YouTube channel or on the Fight TV app as your local provider for international fans. With that also being said, allow me to present, of course, the Impact League, as, of course, the predicting is truly about that. And thank you, by the way, to the entire City Predicting community that has participated throughout the entire year. Currently, right now, Ashley and Joshie are holding it down in first place with Rob Gregg also there with them as well. A three-way tie, three wise individuals. Good on them. Why I am right there behind all of my horsemen of predictions. Christopher Raj, you're doing a great job too. Oh, you're perfectly fine, pal. As I'm just, shooting the breeze here. As I was just saying, we're going to talk about Final Resolution. Of course, you and I not only believe in Joe Hendry, but we also are going to cover Impact Wrestling Final Resolution tomorrow night as a double feature for the Jeff Feature Network Multiverse of Media. In fact, we're covering that ahead of NXT deadline. So stay tuned, folks, for more on that as this week, and the Jeff Feature Multiverse of Media has you covered. But that being said, before we get into tonight's activities and further conversation, Dattila, always great to see you, my friend. How you feeling about Impact Wrestling's Final Resolution and literally the final Impact PLE as we know it?
I'm really excited for this Impact Plus special. Impact always delivers, and as I say in my reviews, you guys stop sleeping on Impact Wrestling. They just dropped some monumental news this morning, so really excited for Final Resolution.
Yeah, we might even talk about that a little bit too if we have time or we just want to. But it also might be a conversation on open mic night. And of course, this week will be an open mic brunch. As of course, Saturday we are double booked. But stay tuned, folks, for a special Sunday brunch open mic night, December 10th, 3 p.m. Standard Time, hosted by the Renegade JJ Williams. If you can be part of the conversation, please do so. And again, without further ado, Dattila, here we go. Let's get right into it. So they gave us 8 matches. They gave us 7 on the main card, and they gave us 1 into the countdown. And again, this all starts tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Of course, we'll be covering it together live. So let's go ahead and get right into the countdown. When I pick up Final Resolution, I think both these men need a Final Resolution to have a bright new beginning in 2024. As for the first time ever one-on-one, we have Sheldon Jean rolling solo, no longer with the KING King, Kenny King, taking on, you guessed it, the 6-time X Division champion, Frankie Kazarian. And simply put, these two, they're just looking to start off right heading into TNA's return. Of course, Hard to Kill, which you will be there live for. And, of course, the post-payments as well. I hope you have an absolutely safe and great time.
Thank you.
Dattila, again, for Kazarian, he's the guy that's back in Impact Wrestling to fulfill a legacy. And, of course, that legacy culminates with him finally winning the big one, what will become the TNA World Heavyweight Championship once again. If he's going to try and start that journey right, I think he does need the win here. What do you think?
Well, first of all, I do agree with you. I do agree, Frankie Kazarian, if he's going to win the TNA title, sometime. Yeah. I was like, Impact title. If he's going to win the TNA title, he definitely does need to win. I'm very curious to see what they're going to do with Shelton Jean, especially now that he's not with Kenny KING King anymore, So, but, I could kind of see Shelton Jean cheating to win here. It's just that without that Kenny King factor, it seems more likely that Frankie Kazarian will probably win this. So I have to go with Frankie Kazarian.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think I got to go with experience. Why Stellan G is an established name for the independent side of Canada. This is his first solo outing truly on his own without that sort of mentorship, without that sort of influence, without that sort of motivation. Before we continue, shout out to those. Go ahead.
I was going to say, but this will be a test for Shelton Jean, see if he actually truly learned from having Kenny K and G King as a mentor.
Exactly. And again, Kazarian, he's always there. He says he wants to push this company forward. He wants to test the young men here. And Sheldon Jean is one of the youngest on the roster next to the gut check winner that they had in the UK. Shout out to those that fill out the predictions so far. I see you're predicting form submissions for 15 people, including not limited to Big _ Space, best name ever. Kimberly, Charlene.
Bacon.
I love bacon too. Ronnie, Premier Breakfast Meat. Jeff, my fellow horseman of prediction. Lex, Dwayne, my friend Sienna Chanel, who just came back on YouTube, folks. Cheers, pal. Alice the Keeper, Con Andrew, Mark Anderson, among others. And a majority are going with Kazarian. 14 out of the 15 right now at this point. Again, you can't argue against the experience of the heavy metal rebel. So you guessed it, we're all basically picking Frank Kazarian. Well, that should be pretty easy to figure out. But I think Sheldon Jean is definitely going to show us something. But speaking of which, Totila, what's his name?
Something.
Exactly. Jake Something going one-on-one against a former good hand in Jason Haas. Again, another match to really try and bring both these men a positive launching pad. We've already seen Jake Something stand out in exhibitions against the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Sonata. He also nearly ran the whole thing at the Call Your Shot Gauntlet at Bound for Glory. But Jason Haas, he's been nothing more lately but a good hand. And now he's trying to show everybody exactly who he is in the singles exhibition. For the longest time, though, I've been waiting for Jake Something, though, to win maybe the X Division Championship. I think Jake Something is due for something. No pun intended. So I think that Jake Something deserves to win more here, and I am going with him. But this is one of those matches that I could see go either way, because honestly, either man right now needs a win.
I have to agree with you. This is a match I could see going either way. I do think that Jake Something needs to win because he definitely needs to win something.
That's right.
You know, and he's had some great showings as of late. So I definitely do see him. I do see myself leaning more towards him winning. But you just have to remember, Jason Hutch is one half of these good hands. I could definitely maybe see John Skyler play a factor in this. You know, help his tag team partner somehow, some way win this match.
Yeah, and again, John Skyler is now booked. So at the end of the day, Jake Something goes solo. But honestly, how about this for impromptu tag team? Jake Something and Bahimna Gunchar. They come out together because they both had bad blood against these good hands. I'm just going to say pair of hands on hand, if we're being perfectly honest. And maybe that could be like a tag feud to start with. Of course, Jake Something being former cousin Diener back before Diener lost his ever-loving marbles. It's just something needs to happen for something, especially after coming back to Impact Wrestling this year at Slammiversary. I want something to do something in TNA. Big, not just show up. So I think something needs it. And it looks like, again, 14-1, everyone believes in something. Either way, we're going to be saying his name a lot more during our call than we've already have right now. So there you go.
Yeah, I think something as well.
So there you go. See, that's something. All right. Well, here's something that you definitely can feed more into, because at the end of the day, we talk about something. Here is somebody that you really don't need to say a lot about unless you don't know his name. Because Moose is going one-on-one against Rhino. As we know, this really stems from the fact that Heath was bucking up against Moose and Brian Myers. And we saw in singles action how Heath and Brian Myers had a bit of an altercation with some Moose assistant. And coming to his friend's aid, it's the War Machine himself, ECW legend Rhino, who gored Brian Myers into next week. Moose just dodging the bullet. It's Gore versus Spear, with Moose again caught his shot and will be involved next month at Hard to Kill, challenging Alex Shelley for what I gotta imagine is gonna be called then the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. So what's your thoughts on this extreme singles encounter?
First off, I think Moose should be thanking Rhino. Because if it wasn't for him, Steve Macklin would be getting this opportunity.
Right.
So I think that he should be thanking Rhino first and foremost. Number two, because of that, I honestly do think Moose is going to win this. I don't see a reason for him to lose this match, especially since he's just going to challenge Alex Shelley for that TNA World title. He definitely needs momentum going into Hard to Kill. So I pick Moose.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you got to ride that wave of momentum. If you already are going to be kicking off TNA's re-emergence next year, I think it's kind of just one of those situations where you can't make a challenger look weak when they're pursuing, particularly the World Championship, whatever name it's going to be. I expect there to be a Gore versus Spear collision, but at the end of the day, I think it's going to be lights out for Rhino. And it wouldn't surprise me if Brian Myers comes to his aid, even if he is in action later on that evening. Again, we don't know the order of the card. All right. Well, speaking of extreme, how's this for extreme? As he is violence, but also he is literally hardcore. As the Digital Media Championship will be on the line as Tommy Dreamer defends the gold against Diener, welcoming on all comers. And of course, his last outing, he let his emotions get the better of him while he retained via disqualification after using a fork against Crazy Steve. An eye for an eye, a utensil for a utensil, to say the least. Oh, and by the way, it's 9-6 in favor of Moose in Moose versus Rhino. Again, ever since Tommy Dreamer won the Digital Media Championship, what was really his last chance, maybe for one last moment of glory back at Victory Road against Kenny King, Tommy Dreamer, he's been one of those guys that's kind of like, I want to face everybody for this, but he's been more so preyed upon by somebody he called a friend his whole life until he literally stabbed him in the back with a fork. I also got to wonder right now, is Crazy Steve still on his mind? Is it fully behind him? Because again, disqualification, I think that still leads to something left unsettled. But in the meantime, here, it's Tommy Dreamer versus Diener. And Diener right now, I don't know if this is by design, but he has a big chance here to win the singles championship. So what do you think is going to happen here?
Well, first off, I'm so surprised Tommy Dreamer went over at Kenny King in that match.
You made both.
Yeah, I don't agree with that decision, but I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think Tommy Dreamer is going to retain just because, like you said, Crazy Steve still probably is going to play a factor into the decision in this match. I don't know if he's going to come out and attack Tommy Dreamer at the end of the match, but I do think that the feud between Tommy Dreamer and Crazy Steve is not over, which is why I think Tommy Dreamer will retain, and eventually Crazy Steve will take that title off of him.
And what? Full Metal Mayhem? Good grief almighty. How much extreme can those two get? They try to stab each other with a fork. I'm just saying. I kind of don't want that question answered. But yeah, again, I think there's still unfinished business, and I think there's a bigger story right now. Diener is kind of a roadblock or a bump of the road. And if you're going to get violent, hey, this is somebody to get violent against. But I think Tommy Dreamer will change too. It's 80 to 20% in favor of Tommy Dreamer. 12 people picked Tommy Dreamer, while 3 people picked Diener. So again, it will be violent, but I think Tommy Dreamer still has life in him as the holder of the Digital Media Championship, to say the least. Okay, well, let's go ahead and move on to arguably what's going to be match of the night, because this is professional wrestling, damn it. Let's freaking go around this classic back. Speedball Mike Bailey versus Trey Miguel 1-on-1. 2 former X Division champions, and of course, Speedball Mike Bailey coming off arguably one of the matches of the year for Impact Wrestling against Will Ospreay at Bound for Glory, while Trey Miguel's looking to bounce back after losing the Impact with Tag Team Championships at Bound for Glory as the Rascals against, of course, the ABC. 2 Sweet. This is going to be a very unique singles exhibition where either man complete a case, not just for the X Division Championship, but maybe even the World Championship. So, Attila, this right here, who you got? And what's your thoughts?
Man, that's a tough one. It's a tough one because I can see it going either way. And remind me again, who won their last encounter?
That would be, let's see, it was Speedball Mike Bailey. Yeah, the last time they faced off 1-on-1, I think, was the X Division Championship. And Speedball put out the Flamingo driver to make sure that he held on to the X Division Championship. I don't think they've engaged with each other in singles capacity since. I know there was tag altercations where Gresham and Speedball had, butting bouts with the Rascals, but besides that, I don't think they faced each other 1-on-1 since.
So, with that being said, remember the story that they were doing with Gresham and Speedball, and how like Speedball was not happy that Gresham basically cheated to win. I think that might factor into this. I honestly think that Trey Miguel's going to beat Speedball, but it's going to be with a handful of tights here.
Oh, cheap win. That's a cheap win.
Yeah.
Come on, that's a cheap win. Well, I mean, again, a win's a win, I guess.
A win is a win, right?
Yeah, I guess. And it looks like they actually did had a previous encounter then to be a disqualification, thanks to Kenny King of all people, during the X Division title tournament semifinals. So yeah, this is their third singles encounter since October last year. Good grief. Keyboard singles encounter, because he was also involved in Rebellion this year in the triple threat where Trey Miguel beat both Gresham and Speedball Mike Billy, eliminating both men. So
all right, well, if he's not going to get a handful of tights, he's going to definitely use that spray paint.
Oh, yeah, I can see that. And plus, I don't know if Myron Reed's going to be a longer-term factor in the Rascals or a longer-term individual part of the roster. But Second Wentz won't be too far behind. I can understand where you're coming from when it comes to Trey Miguel and the spray paint thing, but for once, we're going to disagree, because I think Speedball deserves this. Not only as he, again, one of the best, most booked, most active, most dedicated wrestlers this year. He lost out against Will Ospreay in an instant classic. Last year at this time, he lost out against Josh Alexander for the Impact World Championship in a near 60-minute classic. He just faced Zack Sabre Jr. for the NWA World Television Championship recently at Lone Star Shootout, nearly went the time of the draw and lost his hand in the process. I think Speedball just deserves a win. I think you need to give him a moment here. I think he needs momentum. And if Hiromu Takahashi is now going to give him fun to go out to the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship in a standard singles affair, I think Speedball deserves something going into next year for TNA, especially if a certain individual shows up and gives me that dream encounter, but I digress. So I'm actually going to go with Speedball Mike Billy here. I think he's going to outsmart Trey because, again, he and Trey, they are familiar with each other. But I think Trey right now is in a more desperate situation, and Speedball can prey on Trey's weakness, being his emotions. I think Speedball can get the win here. I'm actually going with Speedball, and I'm actually with the majority according to my poll. 11 out of 15 pick Speedball, while 4 pick Trey. But again, you do bring up a very good point, and that's the beauty of wrestling. Sometimes it's not as, black and white as it seems. This is probably the only match on this whole card, though, that I could see truly going either way and not have a problem with it.
Yeah, same here. I wouldn't be upset if Speedball wins. I'm pulling for Speedball, but part of me is kind of like maybe Trey Miguel might win this,
Yeah, exactly. It could really go either way. All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on from there. And I know I've been taught a lot about the backstory for this match, but I mean, there's not really backstory, but there's a lot of backlog history that comes to these 4 individuals in, and I quote, the best represented, best respected, best booked, and still the alternative for women's wrestling, damn it, on the Western front. But NXT is definitely getting better, I will admit. As we have Knockouts Tag Team Action, and maybe a slow preview of our hard-to-kill Knockouts World Championship match. It's Trinity and Jordan Grace versus the Virtuosa, Deonna Purrazzo, and the quintessential diva, Michelle Shaw. Attila, I'm going to leave this one to you because I think it's only fitting. Respect women in wrestling, fans, workers alike. Damn it, but I digress. What's your thoughts on this tag? I mean, you look at these 4 individuals here. You got the title in play. You literally got 2 former champions in play. You got the challenger to the championship. And you got somebody yet to hold a championship. But it's literally challenged, I think, all 3 of these individuals in some capacity. 2 of them, I think, for the championship. And I know you could also talk about subtly what might be in store for the magnificence of the masterpiece that is the Virtuosa, maybe, in 2024. Where her art will take place on who knows what canvas. What's your thoughts on just this Knockouts division picture and this tag match?
Well, first off, as we've always said, the Impact, and TNA.
We gotta get used to it. Not much. Gotta get used to it though.
TNA has the best women's division in America, hands down. And these 4 ladies showing an example of TNA letting their women be showcased, I kind of feel like this is I don't want to say a repeat, but it's basically Trinity and Deonna versus, who was it? The Shataraj, I think?
It was the Shataraj.
It was the Shataraj, right? And with Deonna's contract expiring January 1st and her becoming a free agent, I had to give this to Trinity and Jordan Grace. Especially because, again, Jordan Grace needs some momentum. She's facing Trinity at Hard to Kill to become TNA Knockouts champion. So I see them winning here.
It's one of those things, though, where, again, even before the contract talk, again, you don't make a challenger look weak. You don't make a champion look weak unless you really want to throw as a curveball and turn this into a triple threat, which would be like, holy ass, what the heck are you thinking? Scott D'Amore and Santina Marella and Gail Kim. But yeah, I mean, again, Jordan Grace won the Call Your Shot gauntlet. First knockout to win that. And she is the journalist. She makes history. And this year at Hard to Kill, she lost the Knockouts World Championship to Mickie James in the last rodeo. Hasn't had a chance for the title since. In fact, she almost lost out on the title for a quarter of a year after not overcoming her ultimate rival in what is this generation's Gail Kim versus Awesome Kong, finally beating the virtuoso Deonna Purrazzo at Victory Road. And to show Shaw, what can you not say about her when it comes to putting the spotlight on her and the opportunity she's created for herself and the magic she's put out against all of these women? Heck, she was feuding with Deonna Purrazzo earlier this year through the better part of Sacrifice and No Surrender. And since Trinity arrived in Impact Wrestling, found her glow, put a bet out on herself, and proved to herself she belongs here and still can hang with the best, and she is amazing, beating the virtuoso not once but twice, back-to-back via submission, it's really hard to argue right now with the momentum that is on Trinity and Jordan Grace's side. And the virtuoso here, again, greatness sharpens greatness. She put over Tasha Steelz. She moved over Jordan Grace. She has led this division for 3 years. If she believes, again, wherever her craft will be presented even stronger and challenged to be even better, I wish her all the best. But again, I just really torn right now thinking about the fact that this might be the last knockouts match for all we know for the virtuoso Deonna Purrazzo and Impact Wrestling to become TNA, which is crazy to think.
That is crazy, honestly. But you know what? Wherever Deonna chooses to go, she's going to excel. She's a great grab for any company.
Damn right. And again, just don't undermine her technical prowess and capability. I'm just saying. And literally, yeah, this one's kind of like just a shoot in the dark for who's winning here. 14 out of 15 pick Trinity and Jordan Grace. It's the Knockouts World Championship match and Hard to Kill. You can't have either of those two pinned. Or submitted.
Yeah. I do think that in 2024, it will be Giselle Shaw's time in 2024. I definitely see her becoming Knockouts champion.
And let's also forget, Giselle Shaw does not work well with others. Do we need to go back to when Deonna Purrazzo and Giselle Shaw last tagged together and they said never again? Hey, guess what? You're tagging again. And I almost feel like with Deonna's contract expiring, she might be the one that eats the fall.
I feel like with her contract expiring, since this is the final Impact show, I could potentially see them doing an angle at the end of the match where they write her off.
Well, they wrote up enough knockouts in weird ways, as long as they don't kill her like they did with the bunny. Hey, Allie.
And not to mention, Taya Valkyrie got sent to the undead realm, and they never found her.
Yeah, well, guess what? I found her. Guess where she is? She's with her husband in Ring of Honor.
Yeah. Oh, I was talking about Rosemary and Jessica with the K because she's sick. They never found a Taya Valkyrie.
Well, when you go into the undead realm, very few actually know how to come back, let alone come back. But for all I know, Rosemary's feuding with Cherry Bomb back in Smash Wrestling, avoiding getting staked in the heart. And that's how I first discovered Rosemary and Allie in the first place. So, again, and Jessica Havoc, one of the longest respected vets of the Canadian scene, also 20 years. Again, her and Rosemary go way back. So Courtney Rush and Jessica, it's a fun mix. I enjoy it for what it's worth, but I'm curious to see what's ahead for them. Maybe MK Ultra again, just saying. But we'll see. But honestly, I can see Rosemary. If Cherry Bomb comes out of the undead realm, I'm gonna lose my shit. I can definitely see Rosemary coming back out of the undead realm next year. Just putting that out there, especially after she was part of that video package too, when TNA is back. All right. Well, that being said, again, it's one of those shows right now where it's like, again, setting yourself up for 2024, making one last impact before TNA is back. You build momentum towards a championship or towards your championship match, whether you're defending or challenging, but you also stake your claim for where you should be placed or how you should be seen in this company. Well, I don't think it gets any bigger than the main event, but I do think this match will give it a run for its money, as to Sweet Me. The ABC defend the Impact World Tag Team Champions against very unique allies for the first time. They're the most professional wrestler, Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards. And of course, Brian Myers, a former WWE Tag Team Champion, Eddie Edwards, no stranger to Impact Tag Team Gold. He and David Richards, the Wolves, they won it multiple times over. And the ABC, shocked the hell out of me, not going to lie, winning back these titles at Bound for Glory. Now, whether or not they got the spray paint off them is a whole different story. So, again, being the only other title match on this whole card, put that in perspective, what's your thoughts towards this? I mean, Brian Myers going a different direction. Eddie Edwards right now, after falling out in that Killer Kowalski Impact match with Frank Kazarian, that's all behind him. Again, Eddie Edwards, no stranger to Impact Tag Gold. Brian Myers yet to hold any gold besides the Junior Championship in Impact Wrestling. And the ABC are once again back on top of the tag team division. But again, are they transitional or is it still 1-2 sweets?
When I first saw this match, I was like, wait, why is it Edwards and Myers? And then I remembered Moose has a match with Rhino. That's why, like, we're not getting the most professional wrestling gods, you know?
Exactly. Hello, Nathan.
Yeah, which I have to go with A, B, C on this one. I mean,
sweet on that.
Yeah, I have to. Yeah. I think it's pretty obvious they're going to retain here. You know,
it's just bizarre circumstances, you know?
Yeah, I kind of feel like this is going to lead to the split of the most professional wrestling gods because I kind of feel like how you mentioned earlier, maybe Myers will help Moose, right? Depending on when the match thing is, the match card order. But I kind of have a feel like maybe Moose may not do the same for Myers. Or if the match is first, if this match is first, Moose may not help. And that's going to upset Brian Myers, you know? So I feel like this is going to be the catalyst for the beginning of the end of the most professional wrestling gods. So I had to go with A, B, C here.
I'll have to switch on that and agree. And I do think at the end of the day, you're looking at Brian Myers and Moose. Let's not forget, they're two of the biggest self-absorbed egos in this company. Just saying. So, yeah, I think the ABC is going to retain as well. Now they've reset the tag division with them on top. And again, there's a bunch of other candidates that definitely could come after them. I can see Rich Swann trying to find a partner once again after he and Sammy had their chance in that tournament. You know the Rascals are doing anything possible to get back. And with this whole Lucha Libre focus we saw recently with even Conan there, I could definitely see a team from AAA maybe coming after them to challenge them. And with who's coming in from New Japan Pro Wrestling next year when TNA comes back, don't think a team from NJPW won't come after ABC.
I want to see TMD. I want to see TMDK again.
Yes, that's the team I was thinking of. Mikey Nichols and Shane Haste this time, though, because last time it was Badu Tito. And again, he tried, but it still wasn't enough. All right, well, it looks like majority...
Shane Haste versus Speedball was a fantastic match.
I agree. Sleeper exhibition. Shane Haste, man, he crazy. Or he's mad, sorry. Let's see here. It looks like 12 to 15. People are going with the chance of retaining. Again, Brian Myers, Eddie Edwards, Besides, Eddie Edwards is ride or die with his wife, Alicia Edwards. They're going to try and figure out their own way, a different way. So, I'm just saying. All right. Well, that being said, as we run down this fun little exhibition for Final Resolution and possibly the first step in momentum towards 2024 when Impact becomes TNA once again, let's go ahead and look at this crazy. I got to imagine it's going to be the main event because, for Pete's sake, who would have thought you would see this combination? Let's talk about the most influential tag team in Impact Wrestling history with the gold as we are in the era of the guns. The Motor Machine Guns, Alex Shelley, the Impact World Champion currently right now, and the current X Division Champion, 10-time X Division Champion, Hill Sabin, Chris Sabin. There you go. Taking on the walking weapon, Josh Alexander, and folks, that is not a Photoshop. You are looking at that right. The current NJPW World Television Champion looking towards his next defense against Hiroshi Tanahashi at Wrestle Kingdom, January 4th. The Submission Master, Zack Sabre Jr., one of my all-time favorite wrestlers on the planet because nobody wrestles like him. All right. Look, we talked about earlier with Moose, right? He's the challenger for Alex Shelley, okay? He needs the momentum. So you would think that Alex Shelley, he needs the momentum going into representing the face of TNA. He holds the TNA Heavyweight Championship to be christened. Then you got Chris Sabin, who, of course, beat Kenta at Bound for Glory and still holds on to the X Division Championship. But Chris Sabin and Zack Sabre Jr., they've never faced off against each other yet, and that could be a unique exhibition. And you did bring up a subtle comment about plans earlier on our pre-show, and I'm just going to leave it at that, as I'm going to let you talk now. What's your thoughts on this star-studded tag team encounter? Where does it lead more particularly for Josh Alexander and Zack Sabre Jr. Because I don't know about you, but I got a pretty good idea of where the guns could be going very soon in 2024.
I'm going to pray to the wrestling gods, Moose and JBL, that this leads to Josh Alexander versus Zack Sabre Jr. at Hard to Kill.
The dickhead. Call him a dickhead and the freaking gets C4 spiked. I can see it. But continue. I like that idea.
I could see, incidental contact here happening between Josh Alexander and Zack Sabre Jr. that leads to a match. Please let it happen at Hard to Kill. I'm going to be at Hard to Kill. But as for a winner, I have to go with Mortar City.
They own pretty much the better half of this year since Against All Odds when Alex Shelley finally won the title in the first place and beat Nick Aldis and Josh Alexander to prove his worth, and Jonathan Gresham. Let's not forget that. What a great sleeper technical classic on Impact TV. But continue. Or is that all you got for the time being? You're good
no.
There we go.
Yeah, sorry. I had myself real quick. I do think that's gonna happen. Like you said earlier, Alex Shelley needs momentum for sure if he's gonna face Moose at Hard to Kill.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to this match. I think this is gonna probably be one of the matches of the night. The next one being Speedball versus Trade Miguel.
Now, again, Zack Sabre Jr. broke Speedball Mike Bailey's hands at the 14-minute and 28-second mark, I believe, to hold on to his Injured World Television Championship. Came that close to a draw. That's how far Speedball pushed him. And Zack Sabre Jr. is looking to go 20 defenses at least with this title. And come January 4th, he would have held this title now for officially 1 year. And why you want Josh Alexander, Zack Sabre Jr., Zack Sabre Jr. has to get for the ace of New Japan first, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and it's hard to get the ace.
Well, when is Wrestle Kingdom? January 4th, right?
4th. Yes.
Okay, that's 9 days before Hard to Kill. It can happen.
It could happen, but also Hiroshi Tanahashi could beat Zack Sabre Jr. Don't bet against the ace. All it takes is a neck cradle, and that's the reason why Tanahashi got this opportunity in the first place. Just saying, Attila. Just saying. But to go with your point, this match is the most split. Slight majority are going with the Morrissey Machine Guns, 8-7 in favor of the two men with the titles. And for Josh Alexander, who is always going to be the standard, the Iron Man, the face of Impact Wrestling, the living heartbeat, after what he and Alex Shelley did at Bound for Glory, after what he did with his title prior to injury, now he tags alongside one of the most technical wrestlers on the planet, Zack Sabre Jr., and again, Josh Alexander, Zack Sabre Jr., take my freaking money. It comes down to, I can't believe I'm saying this, I hate this sentence, can they coexist? But I also do slowly think sometimes the Morrissey Machine Guns, you got to have a bit of a budding ego at the end of the day. Are you telling me that Chris Sabin is not looking at that world championship and seeing what he has on his shoulder and he could cash in for an opportunity maybe some point down the line? I'm just saying.
I'm going to be upfront. I kind of thought that's what they were going to do at Bound for Glory. I thought it was going to be Machine Gun versus Machine Gun with Chris Sabin cashing in option C. But they didn't do that. Maybe, I do think that if Alex Shelley gets through Moose, that might happen. But I don't know. I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet.
And also, Chris Sabin isn't booked yet for Hard to Kill. So again, maybe Zack Sabre Jr. looks to pursue the X Division Championship. No stranger to pursuing more gold for TMDK. I mean, heck, you want TMDK to challenge for the Impact Tag Team Championships. Why not bring the front man to come after one of the most prestigious titles in this company's history?
And they had Jay White show up when Bullet Club challenged for those tag titles.
I was there when Jay White came after Kenny Omega and Sami Callihan live, and I still couldn't believe that happened. That was freaking awesome.
And I'm going to be there to see Okada make his grand return to an TNA wrestling ring.
You lucky, dang it, lucky. I can't believe it. Kazuchika Okada, who's like, man, fuck this company. I'm never going back to this place again. Well, I guess time heals all wounds and men become wise and forgive over the years. Okada coming back to TNA. What the hell?
I'm so glad I decided to go to the Impact tapings after all. I was not going to go to the Impact tapings. I was going to do Hard to Kill and then bounce. But I'm so glad I decided to stick around and do the Impact
tapings. Okada
$1.
2, you best get a damn good video of that entrance.
Fingers crossed.
Fair enough. But yeah,
where I'm going to be at is going to be on the side. I'm going to be like on the side of the ramp on the left. On the wait. Yeah, no, whatever this side is, am I right? I don't know.
That's your right. I got you. Don't worry. I understand how looking at your video. I got it. It's all good. But yeah, and folks, let us know your thoughts in the chat also on TNA's future. Like I'm sure on Open Mind Night we'll talk about the Operaza, we'll talk about the whole idea of Endeavor, we'll talk about the whole idea of TNA Plus on Open Mind Night. But if you all have thoughts or questions, or even predictions, or a final take of Impact 2023, let us know in the comments or in the chat as well. But that being said, yeah, that's really it for this card. Again, it's a unique exhibition card to show the roster, see who go momentum. But this match right here has the most suspension of disbelief. We know in concrete that Alex Shelley will defend the title against Moose. We don't know if Chris Sabin is going to defend his title hard to kill and against Ku. We also don't know if Josh Alexander will pursue maybe Zack Sabre Jr. over at New Japan Pro Wrestling. Josh Alexander right now is the biggest oddball here to say, because Josh right now has nothing planned for him at this point. Everyone else does.
Well, actually, now that I think about it, maybe not that hard to kill, but maybe like the tapings, because they did say yesterday that they were going to announce Will Ospreay's opponent for
Hard to Kill.
I think it was Hard to Kill, yeah. So, well, I don't think he's not going to be at Hard to Kill. He's going to be at the tapings.
The snake, yeah, he's going to be at the tapings. But
so could we potentially see Josh versus Ospreay too?
I mean, I wouldn't mind that. Also, if you watched Royal Quest 3 like I did, Zack Sabre Jr. and Will Ospreay went one-on-one in a clinic that proved was the best in British wrestling, and Will Ospreay got the better of him, and that was for Will Ospreay's title the time before it was destroyed by David Finlay. That now Will Ospreay is going to try and defend and regain at Wrestle Kingdom against both David Finlay and Jon Moxley. So it's one of those things where a lot of suspension of disbelief right now in 2024 when it comes to how deep New Japan Pro Wrestling goes into TNA. How deep does the Endeavor thing go with TNA? Could it lead to maybe a portal transfer with WWE and TNA? One can only dream. And how does it affect AEW going forward? Does AEW get anything out of this? Where does the Virtuosa go? Who shows up? Will we get one last surprise before 2023 ends? Like a weird video package for somebody else showing up or somebody returning. What happens? What's the final resolution for Impact Wrestling as its name before it becomes TNA? That's the biggest thing that we're going to find out on Saturday.
I can't wait to call that show.
Yeah, me neither. And again, good luck to everybody in predictions. Hope everybody enjoyed this simple video expedition. Some quick comments real quick. We got good card, go ABC, and then somebody put a smile emoji. I'll just say to that, too sweet. But thank you to those that tune into this live on demand. Again, stay tuned for our call tomorrow night. It'll be a double feature night on the Deputy Generic Multiverse Media, as we'll be calling both NXT Deadline.
Hold on. Only you and I are going to be doing Final Resolution because I don't watch NXT.
I know, but I'm just saying overall, this is what we signed up for as a network.
You signed up for.
That's true. I'm the voice of the network, right? Oh, Lord help me. I don't have a voice. John Laurinaitis. But yes, you and I will be calling Final Resolution while me and JJ will call NXT Deadline. And either way, it's going to be a fun night for professional wrestling. And Richard here with a very bold comment. That sounds more like a Sunny Kiss thing, but okay. That's one way to seal respect. We'll see. Thanks, Richard, for that little plot. Appreciate that. But I think we'll go ahead and leave everybody for now. So in the meantime, until tomorrow night, anything you want to play or promote and where can we find you? Any last spots? And of course, I have this for you.
Thanks. Depending on how I feel, I'll probably do a SmackDown review tonight. And then tomorrow, after we finish calling Final Resolution, I should be doing a review for Final Resolution. So make sure you tune in.
There you go. And then, of course, we'll see you probably for the Open Mic Night Brunch either on Sunday, if not the next weekend. Well, always a pleasure to tune in again, folks. Get your predictions in. This is the final stop for the Impact League of 2023. Will Ashley, Joshi, Rob, Greg take it? Will somebody else overcome them? Even maybe me. We'll have to see. But everybody's welcome to participate, whether it's your first time or continuing. So have fun and support Impact Wrestling. Don't sleep on this company, damn it. And wake up for TNA. But I digress.
Yeah.
And that being said, people do want to know more about me and why I cover all things wrestling. Shout out to the W family. Know this, for Dattila has learned that I am nothing more but a simple man and a lifelong fan of professional wrestling. Damn it! But I digress.
And sports entertainment.
And sports entertainment a little bit. All the wrestling, though. But follow me if you choose on the Twitter and on YouTube and Foster1916 for all things wrestling. Shout out, of course, to my entire W family on the Twitter and our social media platforms. We'll be doing our exhibit view impromptu very soon as we approach World's End. Stay tuned for more on that. I want to give a shout out to my friend across the pond, Megan Chiba, who continues to prove that Jade's worth more than gold. Please follow Mara Jade on all the social media platforms. Amara, keep fighting. Stay strong. We hope to chat with you again soon. You can find the entire playlist for the review on my Civil YouTube channel and for continued commentary coverage, thoughts, takeaways, league leaderboards, and forums. Primarily follow me on the Twitter. And you can find me, of course, on the Twitter and on YouTube, the same thing, at Foster1916. The YouTube channel is where you can give your own simple assessment towards the biggest shows in all things wrestling. Also updates for the leaderboards. Forums are also there, too, as this stuff for me goes on nonstop. As Attila and I will be covering Impact Wrestling, please follow Raiders of Wrestling. Me and JJ, the Renegade, will not only be covering NXT Deadline tomorrow night. Please follow the social media as you see there. But tonight, it is about simply honoring, God bless those hard-working, fighting men and women, preserving the greatness that is this bizarre country that we live in. As we will be covering Tribute to the Troops tonight, actually 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So stay tuned for that here on the Jeff Mission Network, multiverse of media. So much more to come too, but I'll leave that for JJ and Jeff to show. But as always, I'd like to conclude, there are no winners, there are no losers. There are always winners. There are really no losers, there are no betters. Just fans with opinions for this passion we all share. Because at the end of the day, folks, support one another, respect each other, protect your mentality too, treasure your families, and just enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling. It is truly as simple as that. But with that being said, thank you so much once again for tuning in to another edition of City Predicting. Please subscribe, comment, and tell a friend. If the Bells video goes live or on demand on this channel, please follow my friend Attila, support her, give her a subscribe, hit the bell, and that way you can always stay tuned because I assure you our creative passion, our content, our overall thoughts, and definitely our love, particularly me and her, when it comes to TNA, Impact Wrestling, whatever the heck you want to call it, this company, damn it, is not laying up anytime soon. That's all I got to say for now as I bid you all a fine adieu. So until next time, make a positive impact in life. Prepare your final resolutions ahead of TNA's return. And have a good night for
Bye, everybody.
Impact Wrestling. And we also believe in Joe Henry. Have a good night, folks.
Bye.
Take care.